What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I went out and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it was all right. It was all right. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was bad. It wasn't a bad movie. It uh wasn't a bad movie. It was good. I will say this, and by the way, this is a non-spoiler. I will say this. This movie was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. At one point, I checked my phone, and I saw that 2 hours had went by already, and I was just like, and it felt like the movie wasn't nearly over yet because of everything that was going on. And so at some point, I'm like, this almost seems like it's going to be another part of this movie. And of course, long story short, we got left with a cliffhanger. There were no post-credit scenes or anything. It just said to be continued. So there's another one coming because there is another big part of this that happened at the end, and it was just like, well, wait a minute. And it kind of makes you think, what did he do? Like, that's what I was asking myself. But anyway, in the beginning of the movie, it was so like if you have a problem with like bright lights and colors and things like that, when this first started, it was like bothering my eyes a little bit. The way that they made this, it's very glitchy looking, if that makes sense. Very glitchy looking, of course, because there's so many different universities. Oh my god, you guys, I am so tired. There are different Spider-Verses. So there is a different universe for every Spider-Man. And so in the beginning, it was pretty cool. So of course, it's not only about Miles Morales, although it's a big part of it. So in the beginning, we see a snippet of Spider-Woman, Gwen, I forgot what her name was in the movie. It's almost like Gwen, but it's something else. But anyway, so we see a little bit of her, and we see kind of the story that of what she was going through, and her father didn't know who she was, and of course we know that from all the Spider-Man movies, their parents or aunts or grandparents don't know who they are in the beginning. So we see a little bit of her backstory. There's also a part where there is a main villain in this movie, and at first you're just like, well, I mean, if you know who this person is, then I didn't. But they become a main villain in this movie, and at first he like pops up out of nowhere, and then eventually we get to see why he's doing what he's doing. So that's a whole nother situation there. But yeah, so then after all of that, we get into Miles Morales, and of course we're following him throughout most of the movie, all the way up until the end. And it gets kind of wild towards the end, and how he gets to meet all of the other Spider-Man and women and spider animals. Yeah, because there's a lot of that. But he's put in a predicament where he's just got to make a decision, and it gets real wild. It gets wild and crazy. But yeah, I think it was a fun watch, but honestly, like after a while, I found myself kind of a little bored. And not because it wasn't interesting, but because I felt the timing. Like it was going on a little further than I thought. But it was still a good watch. You got some aha moments, and some moments were like, oh, okay. It was kind of cute because you see all of these different types. It's almost like at one point it looks like comics, and another one cartoonish, and another one, so it's all these different Spider Verses, all these different universe or whatever. And And something, the way that this story is like, it goes on to follow Miles Morales and all of the things that is Spider-Man, you know, saving people, and him and his relationship with Gwen. They're like best friends. Um, and her story is a little sad. So when you see what happened with her, you're like, okay, that happened there, but this happened here, type of thing. So we understand why she is the way she is with Miles. But then later on, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not even what I thought. Like it just gets really crazy. But I think overall it was a fun watch, but it was, to me, a little bit too long. And towards the end, I kind of had a feeling like something was up, because I'm just like, me and Tyrone was sitting there like, this has got to be like a two-part movie or something, because this is going on too long. And now it's gone on this long and this thing happened, and it's like, once you realize that it's almost the end, it's just like, okay, I get it. So now there's another one coming based on what happened at the end of this one, but you guys have to go watch it for yourself. I am giving this 3 out of 5 toodles. I think it was pretty cool how they put all of these different, you know, all of these different Spider-Man universes, you know, together. And at one point, like I said, like you see, oh, and there's some cool things in there that you see. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. You get little snippets of stuff, and there's someone in this movie I didn't even expect. I was like, it was a kind of a surprise. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that was gonna happen. But anyway, yeah, 3 out of 5 toodles. I wish it wasn't this long, especially since this is going to be like a first part to it. I'm pretty sure that there had to be a reason for it. I personally feel like after watching the movie, it didn't have to be as long as it was. But it is what it is. It was still a fun watch. It just didn't keep it didn't, like, it lost me a little bit in the middle, and then I kind of got back into it, and I wish it wasn't like that. But anyway, please go and watch it for yourself. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review. When you do go watch it, come back and let me know what you guys think. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later.